Good morning, geometry. Hope you guys are doing well. Today's lesson is going to be finding volume and surface area of a sphere, which is a ball, a solid round ball. I think you guys will think this is interesting. So here's the formula for the volume of a sphere: 4/3 pi r cubed, and r, the radius, goes from the center of the sphere out. An example of a sphere would be a basketball. And if you wanted to know in the real world, what does the volume actually represent? The volume of a sphere in this case would be how much air is inside that basketball. Versus what's coming up next is surface area. The surface area of a sphere, in the case of the basketball, the surface area would be how much leather it takes to make that basketball. So the first part we're going to do is the amount of air inside the basketball. So it's pretty easy once you know the formula. I think you guys won't have any trouble with this. Okay, so first of all, simple, straightforward. Notice that we can say to leave the answer in terms of pi. That means leave pi alone and don't hit that pi button. Okay? So let's get started. Okay, the formula, volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Well, in this case, r is 12, so it's 12 cubed. Okay? This is calculator, 12 cubed, or 12 times 12 times 12. Okay, 12 times 12 is 144, but times another 12, that's a big number, 1,728. So now I have 4/3 pi times 1,728. Now, this 4/3 over here, you're just going to multiply by the 4, which is on the top, and then divide by the 3. So take this 1,728, multiply by the 4, and divide by the 3. Okay, so 1,728 times 4, divide by 3, and I get 2,000, whoops, wrong color, 2,304 pi. And it's still volume, so it's cubic yards. Okay, so pretty easy. I gave you one with a big number. Didn't really mean to do that, but whatever. No big deal. You got a calculator anyway. Let's do the next one. Again, this one said to leave the answer in terms of pi. The next one, the only difference is going to be you're going to take this 2,304 and multiply by pi so that you don't have that pi sitting there anymore. So no big deal. All right, next one. Let's see what we got. All righty. This time the directions say round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so same formula. Volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Well, this 16 is the diameter, so the radius would be 8. So this is 8 cubed. Okay, now I'm going to put it all in my calculator at one time. I'm going to multiply 8 cubed, or 8 times 8 times 8. And we can do this all at once, okay, which is 512. Then I'm going to take that 512 that's still in my calculator. I'm going to multiply by 4, and then I'm going to divide by the 3. Okay, so I have 512 in my calculator. I'm going to multiply by 4 and divide by the 3. So times 4 and divide by 3. And I also need to multiply by this pi. So I'm also going to do times pi, or times 3.14. And now my final answer, all in one step, is just 2,144 point. It was 660, so I'm going to round to the nearest hundredth, so it's 0.66. Okay, cubic meters. So once again, let me go through that again. I took the 8 and I multiplied 8 times 8 times 8 times 4, divide by 3, and times 3.14. Basically, all the numbers that are on the top you're multiplying, and you're dividing by 3 at the end if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter what order you do it in. All the top numbers you multiply and then divide by 3. Okay? All right, so you may want to pause right now and do a couple of problems on your worksheet. Up to you. because next we're going to switch to surface area. Okay, surface area. So surface area again represents how much leather it would take to make this basketball. It's the area outside of the shape. Okay, it's a nice easy formula. This formula though, you don't really have to memorize what I'm saying right now, but it's interesting to me. Do you remember that the area of a circle was pi r squared? Okay, so this formula is 4 pi r squared, which I think is interesting. What does that mean? Okay, well, that means, oddly enough, if this circle has the same radius as this sphere, and I draw a flat circle, and I draw 4 of them, 3, 4, okay? The surface area of this basketball, if I took the leather of this basketball, I pop the basketball, I take the leather and tear it into little pieces, and then I take all those little pieces and I lay them down into all these circles, guess what? That leather would perfectly fill 4 circles that have the same size radius as the basketball. And that, believe it or not, is why the formula is 4 pi r squared. You don't need to know that, but I think it's kind of cool. You just need to know the formula. All right, so here we go. First example, super, super easy. Okay, find the surface area. Leave the answer in terms of pi, it says. So we have, oops, I went backwards. Hold on a second. I fast forwarded accidentally. Okay. So find the surface area. Leave your answer in terms of pi. So leave the pi in the answer. Okay? Quick and easy formula. Surface area is equal to 4 pi r squared. So this will be 4 times pi times my radius is 8 squared. And you can put that in your calculator. 8 times 8 is 64. And 64 times 4 gives me 256 pi. Now this is area. Surface area is still area. So instead of your units being cubed, they're still squared. So it's 256 pi centimeters squared. Super easy. The next problem, you probably don't even need to watch the next one. The next one, I'm just going to show you the difference in the directions. The next one, you're not going to leave the answer in terms of pi. You're going to change the pi to 3.14. I'll do it anyway, but you probably don't really need it. Here we go. All right, last one. So this time, leave your answers in terms of, well, rounded to the nearest hundredth, okay? So surface area is 4 pi r squared. And that's 4 pi times, this is the diameter, so we need the radius. The radius would be 11, and 11 squared. Put it all in your calculator. You're going to do 11 squared, which is 121, or 11 times 11, times 4, and times the pi button, all at one time. And I get 1,520.53 kilometers squared. So there you go. Pretty easy. I think today's an easy day. Hopefully you guys did all right with that. Remember, you don't even have to memorize the formulas so much anymore because every test you're allowed to have your notes out now. So just keep track of all your formulas and have the formulas in front of you. Hope you guys are doing well. Your worksheet should be week 2, worksheet 1 practice. Good luck.